Have you ever considered becoming a vegan but didn't know what steps to take? Or started the transition but wasn't able to finish the process? Well, you're in luck because now you have the easiest way to become a vegan. A simple and clear guide to embracing a vegan lifestyle. For more information, please visit www.veganintel.com and get your guide today.
I got a lot to talk about when it comes to eating. It's kind of strange to see people fight against eating better. I find that to be very peculiar. It's not like it's a battle between eating meat or becoming a vegan. It's basically just trying to get people to eat better. And so I really don't understand a lot of the pushback. I see a lot of videos with people saying the opposite, that veganism is no good. And so I want to address all those issues. A lot of times when I see people saying that veganism is no good, I become a little suspicious of how well they ate. Did they get enough variety? And what type of vegan were they? Because, you have vegans that are vegans because of health, and you have animal rights vegans. And many times the animal rights vegans are only concerned with animal rights. They're a little bit more concerned with animal rights than they are health. So they have a tendency to eat anything that doesn't have animal byproducts. But everything that doesn't have animal byproducts is not necessarily healthy. And so I really don't like the animal rights vegans like that. I think that animal rights should be categorized as animal rights, and vegan should be categorized as vegan. Vegan should be for health reasons, and animal rights should be for the protection of the animals. I think that vegans that are also animal rights have a tendency to not get involved in a lot of other animal rights issues. And so I got a problem with that. Because you can search veganism, like vegan candy, and it'll show you a lot of candy that's not really that good for you. But it's just considered vegan because it doesn't have any animal byproducts in it. But, a lot of preservatives and artificial colors and artificial flavors would be considered vegan if you went by the standard of no animal byproducts. So that gets to be a little strange. So I'm really not into the whole animal rights veganism. I've been a vegan for 40 years. We used to call it a vegetarian that didn't eat dairy. We didn't even know we were vegans. And back in the late 70s when I stopped eating dead flesh, everyone was that was becoming a vegetarian or a vegan was doing it for health reasons. There were no animal rights vegetarians or vegans back in the day. So that's like a new type of phenomenon, right? But I think it adds to a lot of confusion, and I think that it's all right for you to be animal rights, but your main goal should be health. You don't want to switch how you're eating and it not be health related. That could be dangerous. You don't want to be one of these people that's so concerned for the animals that you're not eating a rounded meals and you end up sick yourself. So I think the focus has to be health. If you're not healthy, how could you worry about other creatures, And so health is the main goal of what we're trying to do. And with so many people out here sick, I don't see the debate. Most people that debate against veganism never address all of the heart disease, congestive heart failure, diabetes. People have problems with their kidneys, their livers, colon cancer. They never address those issues. And these issues are very alarming, and something has to be done about it. Definitely eating dead flesh is unhealthy. And sometimes I think people that make these anti-vegan videos are paid. It seems like they're paid by the dairy industry or by the meat industry, who invest a lot of money in fighting veganism, because they lose a lot of money. The dairy industry is losing a lot of money right now, and the meat industry is taking heavy hits. That's why some of those are investing into veganism themselves. Silk is owned by Borden's. Borden's was smart. They knew that they better switch over. And so all those companies that don't switch over, they're going to be in bad shape. I'm drinking some orange juice with some vitamin C in it. This week, I'm in the middle of a 40-day fruit fast and disease purge. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's almost a week. I'm not really into it. And so if I don't get motivated in a few days, I'll stop. When you're fasting, it has to be enjoyable and you have to be into it. If you do it for a while and you're not really excited, just stop and do it another day. So for this fruit fast, I'm not really that excited. I'm doing it and I'm not getting the urge to eat cooked food, but it's just not exciting. Most of the time when I fast, it has to be exciting. The last fast I didn't do a fruit fast, I did a real fast, was 37 days. And I always tell people, if you're not excited or you just don't feel like it, just stop and do it later. You got to catch a mode when you're excited and then do it. But if you don't know, you can go to www.veganintel.com and order this manual, the easiest way to become a vegan. And this will help you eat better. And I put this together for meat eaters, not for vegans. I find in the vegan community, there's a lot of vegans talking to vegans. And there's not that many vegans talking to meat eaters. And there's a different process when you're talking to vegans than when you're talking to meat eaters. And they're not the same. So some vegans, they talk to vegans, and a lot of times that information could stop people from becoming vegans. Because the term vegan becomes a weird term. And so I have to work hard to show people that you don't have to eat vegan food. You can eat fruits and vegetables. And people forget sometimes that fruits and vegetables are vegan. So they say to me, I want to eat vegan food. And I'm saying, well, you're probably already eating some vegan food. You know, vegan, there's no such thing as vegan food. There's just a vegan way of living. And the vegan way of living is no dairy and no animal byproducts. And so all you have to do is go to the fruit and vegetable section and eat what's in the fruit and vegetable section. If you're eating a lot of meat and stuff, I wouldn't worry about GMOs. I wouldn't worry about organic fruits and vegetables. I would just go to my local store and get my fruits and vegetables and eat them, and wait until you wean yourself off of meat before you start eating better vegetables. That's what I would do. I don't see where there's a need to panic. Hey, what is some vegetables going to do to you in a short term just till you change over? So I wouldn't advise going to hunt for organic food when you're changing over. This is the thing. When you're becoming vegan, there's a lot of things you have to change in your life. And a lot of vegans kind of take that for granted when they're talking to people that are not vegans. When you switch over, you have to change your taste buds. You have to give your taste buds time to adapt, because you've been eating so much artificial flavors and artificial colorings and preservatives that your taste buds are ruined. Also, you don't know quite how to cook vegan food. So you need to give yourself enough time so that you can adapt with your taste buds and get your cooking skills up as you change over. Because it's not easy when you've been cooking something with butter to make that same meal without butter. It takes practice. So this is the best way. The easiest way to become a vegan is the best way, because if you go slow, right? If you take your time and just eliminate one food at a time, that will give you time to adapt to all the other things you have to adapt to. Going cold turkey could cause you to be malnourished, to cause you to not have enough food to satisfy you, and so you're going to be hungry because you don't know what to eat. And so I think this is where a lot of vegans make a mistake when they're teaching non-vegans. I think we should make it clear who we teaching. There's a certain teaching for those that are already vegan, and then there's a teaching for those that are just meat eaters. And these are two separate ways of teaching. And a lot of times when I'm trying to help meat eaters convert, I don't like vegans. Some of their input I don't appreciate, because their input is very confusing. You know, a lot of people are not out here actually teaching how to eat. And I've been doing this for 40 years, so I'm really familiar with the teaching aspect of it. And so you have to take it in consideration that when you're trying to get a person to go vegan, you're asking them to eliminate beef, pork, chicken, fish, shrimp, lobster, crab, lamb, cheese, eggs, milk, butter, okay? And I can go on and on. Artificial, all the different artificial foods with artificial flavors, preservatives. So you're asking them to give up about 20 to 30 things right off the top, at least 30 things you're asking them to give up. So you can't turn around and say, oh, also maybe broccoli's no good, this is GMO, corn is no good, cabbage is, you can't do that. Now you're asking people to give up 50 things. How are they going to do that? How? It's impossible. You're just setting them up for failure. You're setting up a lot of people to be malnourished because they're not going to get enough nutrition, because they're not going to have any idea what to eat, and all the various things they can eat, they won't have any idea how to prepare these meals. And so you got to give them time. Their taste buds have to change. They have to learn how to cook different. They have to learn how to shop different, which includes the way they spend their money, how they spend their money when they're eating vegan. All of these things take time. They have to learn what they're going to be adding to their new vegan meals. So it's very important not to go and talk to new vegans like people that are already vegans. And people do it all the time. I try to talk to people to become vegan on YouTube, and I have these people that are vegans already, and they basically run people away. They start talking about GMOs, your corn ain't no good. They start saying all this crazy stuff to people that are still eating pork and beef, which is crazy. Let the people convert first, before you tell them all of this, all of the things that you don't need to know until you wean yourself off. You see, there's an expert way to be a vegan, and then there's a way to get off meat. And first, we must teach people to get off of the dead flesh first, and then once they get off the dead flesh and they're comfortable and they're firm and they've been a vegan for a year or two and they're not craving meat no more, then you show them how to tailor it and eat better. But if you tell them all of that at the beginning, it'll be impossible for them to change. And the reason that so many people do that, because they're internet talkers. They haven't been, on the streets teaching people face to face. Where, like me, I'm not an internet teacher. I teach people, face to face. And so I know the responses. So when I tell people to stop eating meat, the first thing they say all the time is, well, what do you eat? They can't process what to eat because in their minds, meat is a lot. And so I have to break that down. In their mind, they're eating a lot, and to get rid of that, what to replace it with. And I have to show them that they're really not eating that much variety. They're eating all different chicken in all different types of ways, ham in all different types of ways, beef in all different types of ways that give them the impression that they're eating variety, but they're not. So they think they're eating variety because they're eating bacon and ham and pork chops. It's like, no, that's all just pig. That's just one thing. All you're eliminating, the average person, all you're eliminating is 4 things: beef, pork, chicken, and fish, basically. And then, so I tell them, they say, well, what do I eat? I tell them, well, when you walk in the store, eat everything in the fruit and vegetables section. Now, this is a psychological thing I have to tell them to psychologically stimulate their mind. Because in their mind, everybody knows the fruit and vegetable section is huge. And so that eliminates that, oh, what am I going to eat? They go, oh, yeah, it's a lot in the fruit and vegetable section. Then they start thinking, yeah, apples, oranges, pears, and there's all these greens and there's all this stuff. What is all this stuff? Because most of the time they don't even know everything that's in the fruit and vegetable section because they eat so much preservatives and so much, fast food. They eat so much frozen food and canned food that, they really don't really spend a lot of time in that section. So to get that out of their mind, what do I eat? I tell them everything in the fruit and vegetables section. And so it's easier for me to teach them without other vegans around, because other vegans start picking, well, this, it need to be no GMO and all that. That's crazy. Don't tell new beginners all of that. Because experts, I'm going to be honest with you, experts, the vegans, a lot of them don't know what they're talking about, okay? When it comes to GMOs. I remember when the first big GMO scare came, and I was going to the store and I was trying to avoid GMOs. And I was surprised how much food is not GMO, okay? It's not that much food that's GMO, okay? But people get confused because they think organic is the opposite from GMO, which is not. Organic is the opposite of growing food using chemicals. Has nothing to do with GMO. You understand? So you can get organic GMO food. So people don't get this. They say, well, just get organic food. It's like organic is not the opposite of GMO. Organic is the opposite of using chemicals. So if I got GMO corn, I can grow it in chemicals or I can grow it organically, but it's still going to be a GMO seed. So a lot of people don't understand that. So organic has nothing to do with GMO. Nothing to do with it at all. And so a lot of people that are vegans don't know what they're talking about. Many of them, especially on the internet, many of them probably are not even really vegans, talking, because you'll have saboteurs that are not vegans. They don't eat right. They'll see me on the internet trying to get people to eat right. And these saboteurs been studying a little something. They're not even vegans, but they'll get in front on the internet and say, oh, don't eat this and that, and we have no idea what they're doing at home. So it's very important to understand that non-GMO does not mean it's the opposite of organic. Organic is different. Okay, organic means it's not grown using chemicals. So when you go buy something organic, that doesn't mean it's not GMO. But there's very few foods that are GMO. GMO is mostly corn and soybeans. They're not really doing a lot of GMO trees, okay? And when you talk about GMOs, it gets kind of funny because I'm talking about modern day GMOs, because when you start talking about genetically modifying food, that's a natural process. And I'm going to have to do a whole video to explain that GMO doesn't necessarily mean bad. The problem people have with GMO is what type of GMO food is it and what is it spliced with. But genetically modified food is something that man has been doing forever. It's been happening for years. And so people get that confused and think that GMO is something new. When you talk about food without seeds, that's basically genetically modified. And that's been done a long time ago. And the only reason the food was made without seeds is so you won't grow your own, basically. It's a way to make sure, same reason they don't want you to grow marijuana. They want you to go buy it from a dispensary. They won't make it legal for you to grow it. So they've been doing that since I was a kid with the navel oranges and the seedless oranges and the seedless grapes. See, that was early GMO. But nobody was alarmed at that.
If you've tried to become a vegan and have failed, getting the easiest way to become a vegan may be what you need to succeed. This guide offers a clear roadmap to successfully becoming a vegan. Visit www.veganintel.com for more information.